Old bio, I guess. I've got more books and things. So I'm just going to read these two stories kind of simply because I go over time. First one is Cat People. She doesn't see it as an extraordinary intrusion. Not uncommon, really. A third of the population of humans on Earth have such pretty parasites as herself living in them. Toxoplasma gondii, to be exact. Cat people. Toxo Lady loves the cat named Geronimo, in whom she lives. She gets to have sex inside the cells in Geronimo's guts. The only place she can have sex, nice and warm. Then he poops out her baby oocysts. Then Jane cleans the litter box, and Toxo Lady's babies are born in Jane. Toxo Lady gets to talk to the babies every day. They never leave home unless Jane does, and she never stays gone long. She has to come back to feed the cat. Toxo Lady's oocyst baby clone nursery hides in Jane's brain. Toxo Lady loves her children. She always wanted to have a big family. Since Toxo Lady moved in, Jane never stops at stoplights anymore and laughs about it, spit spurting out of her eyes and ears, making zooming noises. She calls herself Crazy Jane in a loud voice like it's a good thing. She craves the smell of Geronimo's urine too much. Toxo Lady's babies know how to make Geronimo's urine smell like human babies. Jane thinks she is being replicated. She talks to herself in triplicate, then in multiples of 7. Some of the babies get eaten by the ferret who lives in the house with Jane. Stupid ferret, Toxo Lady says. Good thing you ate my babies. See what that does to you. Ferretus starts moving around way too fast. Zing, 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 she does. Geronimo can't help himself and swipes at her. He considers doing something drastic to her. He could, you know. He could. Ferretus winks at Geronimo and wags her rump in the air. She likes his urine too. Smelly, says her domain. Ferretus and Jane get more outgoing. Ferretus talks to all the squirrels and chipmunks at the park. Jane starts wearing red. Red stockings, hats, jewelry, purses, dresses, all at once, every day, even to the bath. She starts arguing with women at work about how many of her there are and how many tiny children she has. She's not as diplomatic about it as she could be, considering her boss has no children. Her boss might be jealous. Jane and Toxo Lady become more and more one. Toxo Lady draws the adventure maps, and they go exploring together. They find places to die, places to be eaten by cats. That is their goal, though Jane sometimes isn't sure why, or even if. She isn't sure of too much anymore, but who cares? Life is to be enjoyed, not lived. She is no longer afraid of snakes, which is nerve-wracking for Ferretus, because killing them will be up to her if they come out of the bush and get into the house, which is very likely in the summer, now that Jane leaves all the doors open all the time. Jane develops an erotic hypnosis fetish. She wants to be taken into a world in which Geronimo becomes large as her house, wearing a vinyl red collar, a dopamine dong. He pats her on the forehead like she's been bad. It shames her in front of Ferretus. She likes that. One day, Toxo Lady decides to get serious. The time has come. Time for Geronimo to really eat. Because Geronimo and Toxo Lady think as one. Geronimo has been watching Jane and Ferretus more closely than they realized. His grin has been getting larger. It's been saying, "We're all mad here, darlings. Thanks for all that food." He rubs up against them more than ever. He pushes his neck scent glands all over them. The Ferretus must die. Ferret just rolls over on her back a lot beside the cat, looking as edible as possible. She starts to develop a winking tic. The parasites in Geronimo's brain say it's time to stop pussyfooting around. That is the end of the stupid ferret. Jane just laughs. She says she's not wearing black to the funeral. Oh no, she'll be the one there who is really expressing herself. Devil-may-care. Her hair is getting wild. When it sticks in the toaster and catches on fire one day, she doesn't notice. I'm so fey, she sings, so very, very fey. Geronimo is watching. Geronimo is very amused. Toxolady has just scored points. She has done what she had to do. Once Jane's fire goes out, Geronimo nuzzles her corpse. Don't worry, he meows. I'll protect you. This one, that's a real disease, actually, if you weren't aware it's a parasite that really does change people's personalities. And you may have it. So this one is called polycephalic snake. The three-headed snake couldn't make up its mind. Which one of its heads to eat first? It hated itself for thinking that. It wanted to get along, but heck, snakes are competitive. What kind of snake wants two others in its territory at all times? So it played something akin to paper, rock, scissors. No one won. They tied every single time. Something about sharing a selfhood, apparently. If A ate head B, C would no doubt attack A. C was gaining in strength lately. B, however, was very clever. So deciding which would be the weakest opponent was tough. They tried something akin to thumb wrestling. They just got very confused and tangled up, looked at each other suspiciously. They were tired. They cuddled up together, intertwining on the rock warmth, and slept. They dreamed each other's dreams. In dreams, they swallowed each other, hugged, shared mice, meditated. They had esoteric thoughts. They never knew if they were a they or an it. They played a version of I spy with my little eye. Too easy. Frustrated, the heads wanted to strike out on their own, to develop their own interests. They decided to take turns leading the adventure, and the other two heads would just go along as silent partners. Head A went to a Renaissance fair and enjoyed the magic show. He found himself puzzling over the tricks. How did those ducks disappear and come out that man's ass? He had made the other two heads close their eyes so they would begin to develop memories. They hankered after individuality. Too bad, because he could never convince them that the mad magician farted out ducks. That made them really want to swallow its head. Head B went to a barber and never came back. Head C fell in love with David Bowie's aging lips, the way they swallowed themselves, that pure juiciness that stayed plump and womanly and radically sexy until he ate them in public in every photograph in his comeback publicity shots. Heads A and C began to miss their triplator. They started making up games in which Head B returned in flames of glory. They learned to cry. No napkins were enough. They needed jelly. They smeared petroleum jelly on their tear ducts to stave, and stave it did. Tears shot out their mouths like venom. Head B, they said, he was one of us. It's strange not knowing what he's thinking. The world is a smaller place without him. If only we'd spent more time with him, they said. They worked harder on saying different things from each other. A said, I am in the grass. C closed its mental ears, repeating to himself a Moroccan folk song with a kind of conceptual loudness, blocking out A. Success. I am a giant, said C. And I'm not, said A. I didn't hear you, said C. He was dancing in his mind, dressed up like Madonna. Faster and faster he danced in order to not hear A. He didn't realize his imagination was making him actually wiggle. He was starting to annoy A with the meaningless undulations. "Undulate reasonably," mandated A. "Stop that. What are you doing?" But A knew. He couldn't help but know. He had yet to turn off hearing C's thoughts. A could only pretend to, and hope it started to work. C, if he was successful at differentiation, wouldn't know. If he wasn't successful, he probably wouldn't admit it. Yet there would always be the question, did C know A was pretending not to hear his thoughts? A struggled with self-esteem. He started wearing black eyeliner and lipstick. He got a tattoo. C tried to subtly teach him new tricks for rebellion, ways to strike out on his own, but didn't preach or condescend. A appreciated that. He felt like he had made a new friend. A found his confidence by becoming a channel. He channeled B, or so he said. He knew if C said this was all in his mind, that meant C was backsliding. He looked at him sideways as he channeled. He made pronouncements about how C was the chosen one. C wouldn't want to refute that. He would want to believe A. Channeling B said C would bring a deeper understanding of snakedom to the world one day. That he would say something so profound, so unexpected and memorable, humans would begin to respect them anew. C felt great pressure. He became quiet, thinking, taking notes at night as he made himself dream the answers. But they only came out stupid. Peekaboo Matilda is watching you. Normalcy is the pride of little people. And snap grass in two with your will, and you will rise again. A scratched them out vigorously in the morning when he read his scribbles. C must not know how mundane they were. Being the chosen one. C scratched them out. A must not know how mundane they were. Being the chosen one was a big responsibility, an honor he wanted at that moment more than anything in the world. More than rats, even the tastiest ones. More than a little rat house with cute furniture and clothes for the rats hung up in the closets. A started channeling Barry Manilow. "Barry isn't dead," said C. A said, "I know that. Channeling living people is very possible. In fact, it's the newest trend." A started channeling Barry Manilow again. C decided to try undifferentiating, just to check in, just to be sure. He said, He could only find a small entryway into his triplator's mind anymore. A's thoughts came to C's awareness as if rusted and peeled by long years in Seattle. Words were hard to put together with certainty. However, those words were, love C forever. And nothing else mattered.
So we are at the midpoint, and